In fact, I don't know if I have ever been as sad as I was then. It didn't matter if anyone else called me a fool, but if Jong-sun, my wife-to-be, saw me that way, that was a truly pitiful situation. After breakfast, I took an A-frame carrier to lug to work. When I thought better of it, tossed it aside and crumpled down onto an empty sack. I felt like dying would be better than being in the situation I was in. If I didn't work, father-in-law couldn't work the farm by himself. He was too old. He noticed me lying down on his way out the gate. He was walking with his hands clasped behind his back, burping. Immediately he began to spit. "Damn you! What's the matter with you?" "I've got a stomachache. Oh, my stomach." "What stomach? And after shoveling down all the precious rice? If you want to ruin my farm, you'll find yourself behind some prison doors. Wait and see." "I don't care. Oh, my stomach." And at that moment, I really thought that I didn't care if I ended up in prison from not working. Even if I had a son later on, someone would still call me a fool. I wanted to settle my matters today, no matter what. When I didn't get up, even after father-in-law ordered me to, he rushed to the other side of the yard, a mad look in his eyes, and returned with an A-frame carrier pole. And then he poked and turned my body over with it as if he was turning over a rock. Whenever he poked my belly, taut and full with breakfast, my belly bounced hard and extremely uncomfortably. I'd eaten to my heart's content, but I still wouldn't get up, and so he then proceeded to poke me not only in my belly from above, but also to kick me in my sides with his feet. Although I expected this because of father-in-law's famously hot temper, I didn't back down at all. Although it was extremely painful, I withstood it all as if I was enjoying his poking and kicking. It wasn't until finally he began to thrash my buttocks that I automatically sat upright and grabbed him by his mustache. I did this, though not because I was angry, but because Jung-sun had, in fact, been secretly watching us the whole time from behind the kitchen and through a hole in the fence. If she already thought me a fool for not arguing better earlier, wouldn't she think me a real fool if she thought I'd let him beat me without fighting back? Also, although I could have beaten father-in-law to a pulp, and even Jung-sun hated him, I decided to just grab him by his mustache. I guess Jung-sun must have been happy because I did what she wanted. I hollered loud so that she could hear me well. "I can beat you to a pulp if I want to." Even more incensed, father-in-law hit me over my shoulder with a carrier pole. I felt dizzy. As I looked up, it seemed like my entire body seized with anger. My eyes fiery and cursing him under my breath, I pushed him down a low hill of fields. When he clambered back up the hill, panting, ready to fight again, I gave him a quick shove back down the hill. He took 4 or 5 tumbles, and every time he tried to clamber up, I yelled at him. "Why do you just keep working me? Why won't you give me my wedding?" If by his own will, he said, "Okay, I'll throw a wedding for you right away, tomorrow even." I would have stopped pushing him down right then. It was becoming bothersome anyway. It wasn't a big deal for me to keep doing it, though. No one would blame me for beating up father-in-law just for pushing him down over and over. Then father-in-law clambered up, puffing and blowing and aiming for my thing, and then he reached out and got a hold of it. I screamed as the world began to spin. "Honorable father-in-law! Honorable father-in-law! Honorable father-in-law!" "You son of a bitch! You want to kill me, don't you?" Grandfather! Please let me leave, grandfather!" I swung my arms helter-skelter, pouring sweat from my forehead and on down, and thinking that I was really going to die. Even then, father-in-law didn't let it go until I collapsed to the ground and almost passed out. How crude! How crude! Could this be father-in-law? Entirely flustered, I couldn't get up for a long time. Then, when I finally was able to raise my head, I couldn't say anything, by the way. I was furious, and I crawled towards him and grabbed his thing with all my might. That was why I was bitten until my head began to bleed. But this was where father-in-law was unusually good-natured. Ordinary people would have kicked me out then and there, even if they had to pay me my wages. But my father-in-law pressed down on my head wound with singed cotton himself, put a packet of hyun into my pocket, and patted me on my back, saying, "I'll hold your wedding this fall, no matter what. Just go and till the pea patch at the valley behind the house." Who else but my father-in-law would have done that? I was so grateful to him. I was even moved to tears. I was so expecting that I would have to leave soon and be kicked out. I rushed to pledge myself to him. "My honorable father-in-law, I'll never do this again," and went to work with my A-frame carrier. But that was later. I didn't know this would happen in the moment, and so I considered father-in-law as my enemy alone and pulled his thing with all my might. "Ah! Ah! Damn you! Let go! Let go!" Father-in-law beat the air and screamed like a chicken caught by a kite. Thinking, why should I let go? I'll teach you. I spitefully pulled harder. Still, seeing him collapse on the ground and his eyes fill with tears, I began to feel scared too. "Grandfather, let go! Let go! Let go!" I still didn't let it go, and then he called, "Jung-soon, my dear, Jung-soon!" At this noisy row, mother-in-law and Jung-soon rushed outside. I expected that mother-in-law would be on his side as he was her husband, but that Jung-soon would be on my side, that she would even gloat. But what the hell? And I still don't know why. After she had told me all about teaching him a lesson, what else did she do but leap atop me, pulling on one of my ears and wailing, "My goodness, this damn idiot is going to kill father!" I felt a real fool, nothing but dispirited and stunned. Mother-in-law also jumped at me, pulling my other ear and crying too. After completely disabling me in this way, father-in-law raised the A-frame carrier pole above his head and gave me a real beating, but I didn't even try to avoid his blows. I just stared blankly at Jung-soon's face, whose mind I couldn't understand at all. "Damn you, you made me, your own father-in-law, call you grandfather?" My father-in-law cried.